Hello and welcome to this video tutorial. During this video tutorial I'm going to be showing you how you can use some basic input and output for C++. This video is designed for beginners and will only be going through two basic statements. So let's get started. The IDE that I'm going to be using for this is NetBeans. Another one that you can use if you're running on a Windows platform is Visual C++ Express. It's a free version that you can get off the internet. Just go to Google and type in Visual Studio C++ Express. Okay, so first of all what we need to do is go to File, New Project, and then we want to make sure that we select C++ and a new C++ application. And now I want to give it a name. I am going to be sticking with the very basic, boring name of Hello World for this. You can leave all the rest of as it is, as defaults, and then click Finish. By the way, NetBeans is available on the Windows platform and the Macintosh platform, so if you wanted to follow on exactly with this video tutorial, you can use the NetBeans IDE no matter what operating system you're using. It should be fine. Okay, once the project's been created, you need to go under the source files. Now, this is where the main file for the application is going to be. You do have a couple of other folders there which do have bits and pieces in them. I'm not going to go into details for what they contain during this video. Double click on main.cpp. This is the main C++ file. Now, before we can actually get started on writing the code for our application, we need to do a couple of things first to the skeleton code. And that is to write another include statement, and that is it, just one include statement. It already has the using name std. If you're using Visual C++ Express, you will need to add in this using namespace std as well, but NetBeans has very kindly already added it in for us. So we just need one include statement, which is include iostream. So we just add that in there. Okay, now with C++, as you do in many C languages, you put the code in the main method, which is down here. So I'm just going to give myself some space. Okay, so the first statement that I'm going to do is called a cout statement. This statement is very simple to the C# console.writeLine statement, and it basically just displays a message on the screen. That's all it's doing. So we just want to do cout, two less than signs. Now it's important that you do get the less than signs, not the more than sign. It won't work if you do the more than sign. And then we just want the text hello world. Two less than signs again, and for this one I'm going to put end L and end it with a semicolon. The reason I'm putting end L will basically just mean end line, so it will go down to a new line whenever we have the next statement. So if we compile and run this, down here you can see it successfully writes out the line hello world, exactly as we wanted it to. Now that's a very boring application, doesn't exactly do much. So if we make it a little bit more interesting, make it so that the user can actually input their name, for example. So the way I'm going to do this is by using a set of chars. Now, in the C++ language, it doesn't have the built-in data type of string like with C# and other languages. Basically, you have to do a string of chars, which may seem a little complicated to you if you are a beginner, so don't worry about it too much. For those who are going to start commenting on the video saying you can use string, yes you can, but it's not as a default C++ argument. It's something that's added on, so I'm not going to go into that during this video. So first of all we need to create a new variable. Now for those who don't know what variables are, it is basically just a method of storing a certain piece of data. So for this one, a char, so we just write char. Char is used for storing single letters, so J, A, W, E, they're all chars. So we want to give our variable a name, so I'm just going to give it a sensible name. I mean, what we're going to be storing is someone's name, so we'll just call it name. and then we want 2 square brackets. Now, in the square brackets, you put how many chars or how many single letters you want to be able to store. Now, obviously, we don't know how many letters long the person's name is, so you want to give it a sensible amount. So I'm going to put 10, because most first names don't go past 10 letters long, and then end it with a semicolon. Okay, now down here, we need to actually, we've set aside the space now for storing this person's name. We just need to actually get the name in from the user. So now we do that using the opposite of a cout statement, which is cin. This time, instead of doing 2 less than signs, you do 2 greater than signs. And then you put the variable that you actually want to store the data in. So in this case, it's name. And end it with a semicolon. So, we've set aside the space, and we've got the person's name in from the user. All we need now is to display that information back out to the user again. So we do that with another cout statement. So we do cout less than, and we can put something like hello, and now you need to leave a space so that it has a space between what they've entered and the words that we've put, which is hello. And you want less than again, the variable which the data is stored in, less than, and end L. And that is it. That is our program created. So if we build and run this, you can see down here, this is the little console window that it executes in. So we've got hello world, which is this statement up here. You won't see anything out on the screen for this, by the way. It does it, but it doesn't tell you that it's done it. It'll just do it silently. So if we input a name, so if I input the name James, for example, I can press enter, and it will say, hello James. And as you can see, that the run was fully successful. That is basically how you do simple input and output statements in C++. If you want any more information on these kind of topics, then you can visit us at the website thebiggreenapple.co.uk, where there are articles on many different computing subjects, really. But yeah, apart from that, we'll see you in the next tutorial. Thank you and goodbye.